Hey folks, before we dive in, I just want to remind you to follow Sky Alert USA to catch this video and all the ones we've got coming up. If you find this helpful, support us by subscribing, liking and dropping a comment below. It really helps us keep bringing you the weather updates you need. Historic winter storm. Fern devastates North America. A 2,000-mile monster brings catastrophic ice, snow and deadly cold. Breaking news from across North America as we're witnessing one of the most catastrophic winter storms in modern history. This is not your typical winter weather event. Winter Storm Fern, as it's been unofficially named, is an absolute monster spanning over 2,000 miles from northern Mexico all the way through the northeastern United States and into Canada. Today, January 26, 2026, millions of people are waking up to a nightmare scenario of heavy snow, dangerous ice accumulations, and life-threatening cold that could persist for days. As of this morning, the situation remains critical and extremely dangerous. More than 822,000 customers across the United States are without power, with Tennessee bearing the brunt with over 253,000 outages, followed by Mississippi with 157,000 customers in the dark. Louisiana, Texas, Kentucky and South Carolina are also experiencing widespread power failures affecting tens of thousands of households. The death toll continues to climb tragically. At least 12 fatalities have been confirmed across multiple states, including Media Map highlighting affected states with winter storm fatalities, emergency management team briefing in storm-impacted area. 2 people who died from hypothermia in Caddo Parish, Louisiana, near Shreveport. In New York City alone, 5 deaths were reported on January 25th. A 19-year-old college student was found dead in Ann Arbor, Michigan, after going missing without proper winter clothing during the frigid conditions. 1 person died in Austin, Texas, after exposure to the extreme cold. A driver lost their life in a single-vehicle crash in Dyersburg, Tennessee, with 18 others injured in more than 160 weather-related accidents across Tennessee alone. The numbers are absolutely staggering. 24 U.S. state governors have declared states of emergency, including New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump approved federal emergency disaster declarations, calling the storm historic and urging Americans to stay safe and warm. The National Weather Service estimates that approximately 213 million people are under some form of winter weather warning, advisory, or watch. That's nearly 2/3 of the entire U.S. population affected by a single weather system. The number of counties under winter storm warnings has set a new record, never before seen in meteorological history. The snowfall totals are absolutely mind-boggling, folks. In the northeast, Pennsylvania has already recorded 15 inches of snow in some areas. New York has seen 11 inches, with Central Park in New York City reporting 10.6 inches as of yesterday evening. New Jersey has measured 12 inches in multiple locations. Now, over in Columbus, Ohio, they shattered a daily snowfall record on January 25th, recording 11.6 inches. The previous record of just 4.7 inches, set way back in 1988, was completely obliterated. Across the Midwest, Illinois and Ohio have seen 11 inches. Indiana recorded 13 inches, Missouri tallied 12 inches, while Arkansas measured 8 inches, Kansas 8 inches, Oklahoma 7 inches, Texas 6 inches, and Tennessee 5 inches. And let me tell you, Little Rock, Arkansas, received 6 inches of snow and broke a daily snowfall record that had stood since 1899. Think about that for a moment. A 127-year-old record completely destroyed by this historic storm system. But perhaps the most dangerous aspect of this storm isn't the snow at all. It's the ice. From the interior southeast all the way to the mid-Atlantic region, a catastrophic ice storm has been ongoing. The National Weather Service has warned that heavy ice accumulations could cause, quote, long-duration power outages, extensive tree damage, and extremely dangerous or impassable travel conditions. Ice accumulation has been particularly devastating in states that aren't typically accustomed to such severe winter weather. The weight of the ice is bringing down power lines and snapping tree branches like toothpicks. Roads have become virtual skating rinks, making travel not just difficult, but potentially deadly. In North Carolina alone, over 400 traffic accidents were reported during the storm, with portions of Interstate 26 and Interstate 85 forced to close. Virginia saw 177 car crashes reported by 6 a.m. during the storm, resulting in multiple injuries. In Pennsylvania, the snowstorm triggered an avalanche in Duryea. The Ontario Provincial Police in Canada responded to approximately 100 car crashes over just 24 hours. The aviation industry has been brought to its knees. More than 10,000 flights were cancelled on Sunday alone, with another 8,000 delayed. Experts are predicting that January 25th will go down as one of the days with the most weather-related flight cancellations in United States history, with the possibility of more than 15,000 cancellations in total. Major airports have been severely impacted. Over 1,000 flights were cancelled at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia. At Toronto Pearson International Airport in Canada, over 560 flights were cancelled by 3 p.m. LaGuardia Airport in New York closed at 1 p.m. on January 25th during the height of the storm. Major United States airlines have been warning passengers to stay alert for abrupt flight changes and additional cancellations. The disruption hasn't been limited to commercial aviation. A tragic aviation accident occurred at Bangor International Airport near Bangor, Maine, when a Bombardier Challenger 650 carrying 8 people crashed during the winter weather conditions. The cause is currently under investigation. Behind this massive storm system lies an even more insidious threat: Arctic air of extraordinary intensity. This isn't just cold weather. This is dangerous, life-threatening cold resulting from a stretched and disrupted polar vortex. Authorities are warning of life-threatening cold that could last a week or more after the storm passes, especially in the northern plains and upper Midwest. Wind chill temperatures are forecast to plummet to extremes of 50 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit or colder. At these temperatures, frostbite can occur within minutes of exposure. This is not weather to take lightly. Grand Rapids, Michigan, recorded a bone-chilling low temperature of -19 degrees Fahrenheit on the morning of January 24th, the coldest temperature in that area since 1994. Flint, Michigan, dropped to -24 degrees Fahrenheit, just 1 degree above the all-time record low for the region. The National Weather Service has issued stark warnings that this Arctic high pressure settling in behind the storm will maintain dangerously cold temperatures for the central and eastern United States well into the upcoming week. Temperature anomalies of 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit below normal are expected across vast areas. Our neighbours to the north are facing their own winter nightmare. Southern Ontario has been absolutely hammered by this storm system. Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area are experiencing what meteorologists are calling a monster of a storm, with Environment Canada issuing rare orange-level winter storm warnings. Toronto has seen snowfall totals of 20 to 40 centimetres, with some areas experiencing even higher amounts. The orange warning is the second highest level of alert that Environment Canada issues, reserved for severe weather likely to cause significant damage or health impacts. Peak snowfall rates reach 5 to 7 centimetres per hour in some areas, a rate that can quickly overwhelm road crews and create extremely dangerous travel conditions. The City of Toronto activated its major snow response plan for the second time in 2026. All library branches closed, transit stops went out of service, and residents were urged to stay off the roads. Mississauga reported more than 40 centimetres of snow accumulation across parts of the city. In Hamilton, Mayor Andrea Horwath declared a significant weather event and encouraged people to avoid unnecessary travel. Environment Canada issued orange snowfall warnings for Hamilton, Burlington and the Niagara region. Schools across southern Ontario, including in Halton, Hamilton, Niagara, Waterloo region and Guelph, closed their doors. Atlantic Canada is bracing for impact as the storm system moves eastward. Heavy snowfall totals of 20 to 30+ centimetres are expected across the Maritime provinces, with Nova Scotia's Halifax region expecting the heaviest accumulations. Snowfall rates of 2 to 4 centimetres per hour are forecast for Monday morning. Environment Canada issued winter storm warnings for southern Nova Scotia and snowfall warnings for the rest of Nova Scotia and the southern half of New Brunswick. A special weather statement remains in effect for Prince Edward Island. In Quebec, the Canadian Red Cross opened an emergency shelter in Côte-Saint-Luc after thousands of residents lost power during the extreme cold. As of Sunday morning, power had been restored to only about 3,700 of the 13,000 homes affected, with some addresses possibly waiting until Monday for restoration. Saskatchewan has been experiencing record-breaking cold, with Environment Canada reporting that many towns in the province have shattered cold weather records. A polar vortex has blanketed much of Canada, prompting orange alerts across many jurisdictions. What created this meteorological nightmare? The massive storm system resulted from a stretched and disrupted polar vortex. Normally, this Arctic region of cold, low-pressure air forms a relatively compact circular system over northern Canada and Alaska. But when atmospheric waves in the upper atmosphere cause it to elongate or split, it morphs into a more oval shape, sending frigid air spilling across vast regions of North America. Beginning in mid-January 2026, meteorologists began forecasting this large-scale winter storm. The storm originated from a wave in the upper atmosphere that elongated the polar vortex. The cold air from this disruption was forecast to interact with moisture from the Pacific coast and the Gulf of Mexico, creating the devastating combination of ice and snow across large parts of North America. The storm first developed on January 22nd in the Pacific Ocean as a cold core low-moving southeastward toward the Baja California Peninsula. Due to the immense size and expected impact, NOAA deployed a Gulfstream IVSP aircraft to fly into the system and collect data to improve forecasting accuracy. By January 24th, the Weather Prediction Center began issuing storm summary bulletins as a low-pressure wave settled along a cold front near the Gulf Coast. By January 25th, the winter storm had moved into the northeast, where it began transitioning into a powerful nor'easter. While the north battles snow and ice, the south has experienced its own dangerous weather. Severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado watches were issued for parts of Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Multiple tornado warnings were issued throughout the evening of January 25th. The severe weather brought powerful winds. Montgomery, Alabama, recorded a wind gust of 71 miles per hour. The combination of severe thunderstorms in the warm sector and winter precipitation to the north created an extraordinarily complex and dangerous weather situation. The power outage situation remains dire. As much as 300,000 people in Tennessee alone were estimated to have lost power due to damaging ice accumulations. By the afternoon of January 24th, over 135,000 people had lost power. That number skyrocketed to almost 700,000 by the morning of January 25th. By midday, more than 1 million customers were without electricity, primarily in Texas, Louisiana, the Mississippi Delta, and the southern Ohio River basin. Officials have stated that residents should stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. Many roadways in Texas were closed due to icy conditions. 2 18-wheel trucks became stuck on a ramp on Interstate 40. Requiring towing operations during the height of the storm. Transportation infrastructure has been crippled. NJ Transit and NYC Ferry suspended service in the New York area. The city bike service shut down on January 26th in New York due to hazardous weather. Road maintenance has been overwhelmed, with city crews struggling to keep up with the relentless snowfall. Looking ahead to the next 3 days, the news does not get better. The worst may be over in terms of precipitation, but the dangerous cold is just beginning its extended grip on the region. January 27th, Tuesday. Arctic high pressure will settle firmly over the central and eastern United States and Canada. This will maintain dangerously cold temperatures well below freezing across a vast area. Morning low temperatures in the mid-Atlantic states could challenge record lows. Wind chill values in the northern plains and upper Midwest could reach 50 degrees below zero or colder. Light snow may continue across portions of New England and the Great Lakes region due to lake-effect snow bands. Travel will remain hazardous across much of the affected region as ice-covered roads persist and power restoration efforts continue. January 28th, Wednesday. The Arctic air mass may moderate slightly mid-week, but temperatures will remain well below normal. Additional clipper systems may bring rounds of weak to moderate snow from the north-central United States into the Great Lakes and Northeast. Areas with widespread snow and ice coverage will experience enhanced radiational cooling, keeping temperatures brutally cold, especially at night. The probability of excessive rainfall will remain less than 5%, according to the Weather Prediction Center. Wind chill remains a serious concern across the northern tier states and Canada. January 29th, Thursday. Mean troughing aloft will persist, bringing additional chances for clipper system snow from the north-central United States. The dangerously cold temperatures will continue across much of the region, with only gradual moderation expected. A potential resurge of Arctic air late in the week into the weekend could prolong the cold snap. Areas with significant snow cover will continue to experience enhanced overnight cooling. Power restoration efforts will continue, but lingering cold will make conditions challenging for repair crews and residents alike. The extended forecast shows that this pattern of Arctic cold could persist well into early February. Climate models suggest continued cold air support over Western Canada and the northern and central United States. Brief, mild periods may occur between individual cold waves, but the overall pattern favors below normal temperatures. Cities and states have activated emergency warming centers for those in need. The City of Toronto has reminded residents that warming centers are open and, has activated surge warming sites. Kingston, Ontario has declared a significant weather event and is advising residents to use extra caution. Emergency services, including fire departments and paramedics, are responding to calls as they come in. But, folks, authorities are urging residents to keep 911 lines clear for life-threatening emergencies only. Response times may be longer than usual due to hazardous road conditions. The National Weather Service has emphasized that the combination of significant snow and ice accumulations, along with the frigid weather, could cause power outages and icy road conditions to linger far longer than after a typical winter storm. This extended duration of hazardous conditions makes this event particularly dangerous. Early voting for special elections in New York City was cancelled for January 25th due to the storm. Schools across multiple states and provinces remain closed. The University of Maryland allowed early move-ins for the second semester specifically to help students get settled before the storm arrived. All right, folks, authorities are providing some critical safety guidance right now. If you absolutely must travel, make sure you're dressed in layers, have some water and food with you, and carry a fully charged cell phone in case of emergencies. Before you head out, let a close friend or family member know your travel plans and your route. Honestly, though, you should avoid unnecessary travel if you can help it. Road conditions are still extremely hazardous, with ice-covered surfaces and reduced visibility from all that blowing snow. Now, if you lose power, never use generators, camp stoves, or any gasoline, propane, natural gas or charcoal burning devices indoors. Seriously, don't do it. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a real and serious risk during these extended power outages. Please, check on your elderly neighbors and family members too. The combination of cold temperatures and potential power outages puts vulnerable folks at serious risk. If you do experience a power outage, report it to your utility company right away. Be patient though. Restoration crews are working in some pretty dangerous conditions. Keep an eye out for signs of frostbite and hypothermia. Frostbite causes numbness and white or greyish-yellow skin, while hypothermia symptoms include shivering, exhaustion, confusion and drowsiness. If you or someone you know experiences any of these symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. This historic winter storm is, it's going to be studied for years to come. The sheer size, the devastating ice accumulations, those record-breaking snowfalls, and the prolonged Arctic cold, it all adds up to one of the most significant winter weather events in North American history. Meteorologists are saying this extreme weather is due to a disruption of the polar vortex caused by stratospheric warming events. When the polar vortex weakens or splits, lobes of brutally cold Arctic air can break off and plunge southward. The signals for this event were unusually well aligned, with a wildly meridional jet stream creating deep troughs and powerful ridges, plus major blocking over Alaska and Greenland that just locked the cold air in place and forced it south. Climate scientists are noting that these polar vortex disruptions might become more common as our atmospheric circulation patterns keep evolving. So, understanding these events is becoming more and more critical for emergency preparedness and public safety. The economic impact, folks, is going to be enormous. Costs for power restoration, infrastructure repair, lost productivity, cancelled travel and emergency response operations will easily run into the billions of dollars. Insurance claims for property damage, vehicle accidents and business interruptions are expected to surge in the coming weeks. And don't forget about agriculture. Livestock exposed to these bitterly cold conditions face serious risks, and orchards or early season crops, especially in those ice storm areas, could suffer extensive damage. As we keep tracking this historic winter storm, our thoughts are with everyone affected across the United States and Canada. This is a dangerous, life-threatening situation, and it's so important that everyone takes it seriously. Please stay informed by monitoring your local National Weather Service office or Environment Canada for the very latest forecasts and warnings. Follow official social media accounts for real-time updates on road conditions, power outages and emergency services. This storm is a powerful reminder of nature's awesome force and the importance of preparation, community support and listening to official warnings. We'll keep providing updates as this situation develops over the next few days. So, stay safe, stay warm, and look out for one another. From all of us here at Sky Alert USA, we're committed to keeping you informed and keeping you safe during this unprecedented winter weather event. Here are the latest numbers, folks. This storm stretched over 2,000 miles. Emergency declarations were issued in 24 states. Approximately 213 million people were under winter weather warnings. Power outages affected over 822,000 customers. There have been at least 12 confirmed deaths so far, and that number is unfortunately still rising. On January 25th alone, there were over 10,000 flight cancellations. Multiple cities across the United States and Canada reported record snowfalls. Major impacts have continued from January 22nd through at least January 29th. Wind chill temperatures dropped as low as -50 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas. Peak snowfall totals reached up to 15 inches in Pennsylvania and over 40 centimeters in parts of Canada. This is Sky Alert USA, your trusted source for weather information when it matters most. We'll keep monitoring this historic storm and bring you updates as they develop. Stay alert, stay informed, stay safe. And remember, for emergencies, call 911. For power outages, contact your local utility company. For weather updates, visit weather.gov in the USA or weather.gc.ca